This new year is already starting off with a bang.
It's all still under investigation. You'll hear more after me. However, I have been in direct contact with the White House, with Governor Landry, and of course a unified command who is present here.
What I also can tell you is that this man, this perpetrator, he fired on our officers from his vehicle when he crashed his vehicle. 2 of our officers have been shot. They are stable, and we will give you an update on them. I have yet been able to go to the hospital. I will be leaving here for us to go visit our officers. We have called in every officer that we have. We have so much appreciated our partnerships who have also offered us staff. Last night we had over 300 officers out here. And because of the intentional mindset of this perpetrator who went around our barricades in order to conduct this, he was hell-bent on creating the carnage and the damage that he did.
Thank you for shopping at CVS.
Yep, here we are. New year, same problems. As you heard right there on New Year's, we saw a terror attack in New Orleans. Shamsud Din Jabbar, an American citizen from Texas, drove a pickup truck into a crowd of New Year's revelers in New Orleans. Now they're saying that he acted alone in this. He killed the attack, which was along Bourbon Street, killed 14 people. 15, I think the official count is now 15, along with Jabbar, who was fatally shot in a firefight with the police after steering his speeding truck around a barricade and plowed it into a crowd. About 30 people in all were injured. Now, they are saying he acted alone on this. We're hearing a lot about this guy now. We're hearing that he was born in Texas. His parents are also from America, so he's not even a second generation American. But if you look at the guy, he kind of looks like somebody who would be from the Horn of Africa. He kind of looks Ethiopian or Somalian. So I wonder if it was his grandparents or something that are from some other country. They said he converted to Islam in the last few years. They haven't told us what his original name was. I mean, Shamsud Din Jabbar is a Muslim name. So what was his original name? Is that a Muslim name? Did he change his name in recent years? There's so much that we don't know about this case. Other than at first they said it wasn't a terrorist attack. Then they said it was a terrorist attack. They said he didn't act alone. Then they said he did act alone. This whole thing just is so stinks to high heaven. This guy's a Army veteran, a longtime Army veteran, was in the military. And then at the same exact time in Las Vegas, one of his cohorts who served at Fort Bragg with him, which is now known as Fort Liberty, Matthews Livisberger, who was 37 years old, was a Green Beret in the Army. He shot himself in the head, allegedly, and packed his Tesla with fireworks and blew it up in front of the Trump International Hotel in Las Vegas. This explosion only caused minor injuries to 7 people, but virtually no damage to the hotel. I've seen the surveillance video of it happening. Most of the explosion was confined to the truck itself. It is likely that Livisberger planned a more damaging attack, but the steel-sided vehicle absorbed much of the force from, his explosives. Now, they said his explosives were crudely built, but this man's a Green Beret. Like, this doesn't add up. And him and the first guy served together at Fort Liberty at the same time. This doesn't make much sense. Most of the damage from the blast was limited to the interior of the truck because the explosion vented out and up and did not hit the Trump Hotel doors just a few feet away. So here we are already starting off a new year. And just while that was happening, 10 people were wounded in a shooting on Wednesday outside of a nightclub in New York City that was holding a memorial for a teenager who had been just killed in the city. They said 3 or 4 men fired 30 shots into a crowd of people who were standing outside the Amazura Concert Hall in Jamaica, Queens, for a private event before running to a car and driving off. 6 females and 4 males between the ages of 16 and 20 were taken to hospitals, but are expected to recover. So thank God in that particular instance. But here we are. We're already starting off this new year with a bang. With a bang. And in particularly the first 2 cases are just so bizarre. But I've been thinking about this a long time. America has been at war consistently for 23 straight years. We have been at war constantly for 23 straight years. We know that 23 American troops commit suicide every day. 23 American troops commit suicide every day. We are creating generations of broken and scarred individuals. We are creating generations and generations now because of the military-industrial complex, because of our endless funding of these wars. We are creating deeply disturbed individuals who have the know-how and the skill to kill people. These people have the know-how and the skill to kill. And so a lot of these people come back from whatever war or whatever military base they've been getting trained in, or whatever war zone they've been fighting in, and they come back to America, and a lot of these people start self-destructing. I already told you, 23 of them commit suicide every day. 23. Large swaths of them are homeless. A large swath of our homeless are people who've been serving in wars or in the military in some capacity. This is what happens when you have a military-industrial complex, when you have a society that is built around constantly being at war. You are creating so many people who are molded by this brutal machine that is the U.S. Army, and good God, a lot of them are not built for civilian life. This guy, Shamsuddin Jabbar, was married twice. He actually intended to murder his wife and family. That was supposedly his original intention, to commit another mass murder of a family, another murder-suicide that we see seemingly all the time in this country. Unfortunately, he intended, to kill his wife and family. But wanted the message to get out. He didn't kill his family and his wife because he felt like it would just go down as a domestic dispute. He committed a terror attack instead because he wanted his message about ISIS to get out, which, again, and this is another one of those situations where we were acting as ISIS's military support in Syria. So Like, we are making all these different alliances with Al Qaeda and ISIS. Obama actually created, by proxy, created ISIS when he destroyed Libya in 2011, which he said himself was the biggest mistake he made during his presidency. And now we gave them a state in Libya and gave them we put the battery in their back, and now you have ISIS that is an issue and influencing people all over the world to commit terror attacks. When all of this could have been circumvented if they had just left Muammar Gaddafi alone. Libya was a middle-class country, had the highest living standards of anywhere in Africa. Muammar Gaddafi protected African people from ISIS and from all the terrorist groups and Boko Haram and all these other people. Muammar Gaddafi absorbed a lot of the people who were afraid in sub-Saharan Africa and being terrorized in sub-Saharan Africa. And as soon as he went down, all these different groups, these terrorist groups, they went buck wild and started enslaving people and started beheading people and caging people and all these other things. And so all this energy we are putting out into the world, our government, what Martin Luther King called back in 1967, the greatest purveyor of violence in the world, the United States government, is coming back around on us big time. Big time. We are seeing it now. We are seeing it right now in spades. What we put out in the world is coming back to us. And, it's just really, really sad and unfortunate. You can't go anywhere. You can't do anything. I've gotten to a point where everywhere I go, because we live in North Alabama here in Indiana, where you don't even need a concealed carry license to conceal carry. You can just pick up a gun and go anywhere you want. Anytime I go to an open space, if I go to Walmart, I'm looking, if somebody starts shooting, where can I go? What can I hide behind? When I go to the dollar store, I'm thinking that. And when I go anywhere, especially big places in Maryville or Hobart or Chicago or whatever, I'm thinking, what can I hide behind? Where can I hide? What can I do? If I got a can of peas and I got to throw it at this guy who's got a AR-15 and distract it, what can I do? And it's sad to say, I think that just about every American at this point is at that point where we almost live in a perpetual state of terror, and a lot of it is because of what we put out in the world. Our government, the United States government. As the late great Tupac Shakur said, they got money for wars, but can't feed the poor. And so that's what we're going to talk about when we get back. Homelessness, an all-time high, while CEO pay is also at an all-time high. We'll be right back after this.